Hey yo, what's up? This is Daddy Longlegs from the feared and revered Wolfpack, and you are listening to the Buffalo Juggalo Radio Show on Hatchet Radio. Believe that.
And we're back with the Buffalo Juggalo Radio Show. And as you could probably guess by now, it is time to get schooled by Polmar. I really need to come up with some theme music or something for this, you know? Anyway, I know we've been kind of doing a lot of, like social studies type, other cultures sort of things the last few weeks, but this week we're going to go back into history. We're going to continue our study on the ancient civilizations. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, we talked about Mesopotamia, which was the, first civilization. Well, the second main, well, I don't want to say the second main, but the next civilization we're going to talk about today is the Indus River civilization. Now, the Indus River Valley civilization, that started up around 2500 BC, and that was located along the southwestern part of the Indus River. The largest city was Mohenjo-Daro, which is in present-day Pakistan, and settlements just stretched all along the river. Basically, it stretches across what would be present-day a bit of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and it has natural borders. It consists of mountains and also the Arabian Sea, and these help shelter the civilization from attack and disease. Water from the river fertilized and irrigated crops, and the proximity to the river allowed boats to become a viable transportation option. Now, agriculturally, the development of widespread irrigation systems allowed the population to provide food for themselves. The primary crops were wheat and barley. However, they also grew rye, peas, cotton, and rice. Also, the domestication of animals also served as an important tool for cultivation and as a source of food. Also, the economy depended greatly on trade. Trade was conducted within the civilization as well as with Mesopotamia. Advancement in technology led to carts and early boats that were used as the main methods of trade and travel. Now, socially, some of you actually may remember this from school, the social structure. This is the one that they had a caste system. There were 4 main classes. And basically, people were born into that class. It could not be changed. There was no class movement. And what they were is I'm going to try to pronounce these right. At the top was the Brahmins, which were priests, and the king. Next were the Kshatriyas, which were the warriors and aristocrats, the rulers. Next were the Vaishyas, which were the cultivators, artisans, and merchants. And then the Shudras were last, which were the peasants and serfs. Servants, slaves. Let's see, as far as, their buildings and architecture, individual buildings for bathing and using the restroom were used. They had an early sanitation system. They had like bathhouses and stuff. They built citadels for defense. They built granaries for the storage of their food, for all the wheat and everything they grew. Also, all houses had access to water and were about the same size. Also, that they had kind of another thing that the civilization was famous for was having like an actual running water sewage type system. So, as you dumped your dirty water or your waste, it actually went into a running water system. Let's see, so we said, okay, all houses were about the same size. Houses, some of their houses had 2 stories. They were building 2-story houses. Most of their buildings were made of bricks. The one thing, though, they did not build any large monuments or structures. They kind of kept everything mellow there, they're building 2-story houses, but they didn't build anything huge. No big temples, nothing like that. Now, their tools, they were constructed from bronze and also possibly copper and even iron. Now, clay was utilized for both art and tool manufacturing. And also, it's important to note that the Indus River Valley civilization developed a measuring system and tools for measurement, which they were the first and the most precise of the time. Weapons, kind of like tools, they were constructed from bronze. Their weaponry was not as advanced as it was in the Mesopotamian society. They did make arrows, but they didn't have swords developed yet. But their isolated geography, being surrounded by the mountains and the ocean, they didn't really need advanced weaponry. Just the basics to kind of, hold off a few random bands of nomads. Technologically, like you said, they had large irrigation systems. They were the first civilization in the world to develop precise measurement and weighing equipment, like we mentioned. Most of their technology that they developed, though, was used to aid in agriculture. And then we also mentioned, that they had technology such as boats and carts that they made. Religiously, for the first, they're just kind of like pagan, like polytheistic, from the beginning. But from around 1700 to 1100 BC, they were mainly a Hinduistic society, and then somewhere around 365 BC, they changed over to Buddhism, which is a monotheistic belief system. When it comes to their writing and literature, their oldest scriptures of Hinduism, the Vedas, is what they had. They would write their prayers. They would write down their hymns, religious rituals, their philosophies. So that, they really weren't writing for art or entertainment, mainly for religious and spiritual purposes. When it comes to gender roles, men worked within their designated caste social class. Whatever your job was, whatever you're born into, that's what you were. Women were valued because of their ability to produce offspring and nurse. When children were old enough, they adopted their parents' role. So basically, men worked, women were the breeding mare, I guess. I'm trying to just glance through the notes here, see if there's anything we really didn't cover. The Indus River Valley civilization. I don't know, I guess that was basically the gist of that one in a nutshell. Of course, I'm going to have these notes up online so you can compare them. This goes hand in hand with that Mesopotamia lesson we did a few weeks ago. And of course, in another few weeks here, we'll do the next one, probably the Nile River Valley civilization. That's ancient Egypt. So, the next time we come back to do a civilization again, I'm not sure what topic we're going to do next week. I'm thinking maybe a math or a science. I don't know. Maybe English. I don't know what else to do with English, though. That's kind of hard one to just teach on the radio. We'll figure it out. But alright, in the meantime, let's take us out here, listen to some music, and we'll be back here in a few moments on Hatchet Radio with the Buffalo Juggalo Radio Show.
What's up, everyone? I'm Polmar.
And I'm Trippy Two-Face.
And we're the hosts of the Buffalo Juggalo Radio Show.
You can catch us every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Hatchet Radio.
We'll be bringing you all the freshest in underground music news, interviews, featured artists, and so much more.
With a special focus on the 716 and beyond. This is the official broadcast of Buffalo Juggalos.
Come scope us out at hatchetradio.net and hit us up at facebook.com/Buffalo Juggalo Radio Show.
We have tons of contests and giveaways coming up on our page.
So don't sleep on it.
The Buffalo Juggalo Radio Show, Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Only on Hatchet Radio. Holding down the 716 Buffalo.